In a universe where celestial beings once ruled unchallenged, Earth remained a silent observer, its potential dormant. That is, until a cosmic betrayal awakened its fury. The stars, once indifferent witnesses to humanity's plight, now watched in awe as the planet, long underestimated, rose to reclaim its sovereignty. With every tremor and storm, Earth's vengeance echoed across the cosmos, challenging the very order of the universe. As celestial entities faltered and ancient powers crumbled, the message was clear: Earth had awakened, and its wrath was unstoppable. The cosmos had underestimated Earth's resilience. Now they would witness its might. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, Earth was but a speck, a mere observer in the grand theater of the universe. For eons, celestial beings and cosmic entities held dominion, weaving the fabric of existence with their divine powers. The stars, distant and indifferent, watched as civilizations rose and fell, their fates dictated by the whims of these higher powers. Humanity, in its infancy, was unaware of the cosmic forces at play, living under the illusion of autonomy. But the universe, in its infinite complexity, had a plan. A plan that would soon awaken the dormant power of Earth. The catalyst came in the form of a cosmic anomaly, a rift in the fabric of spacetime that sent ripples through the universe. This disturbance, though seemingly insignificant, reached Earth, awakening an ancient force buried deep within its core. This force, known as Gaia, the spirit of Earth, had slumbered for millennia, bound by the celestial agreements that kept the cosmic balance. Gaia's awakening was not a gentle stirring but a violent eruption. Mountains trembled, oceans roared, and the very ground quaked as if the planet itself was shaking off the shackles of its celestial overseers. The stars, once silent witnesses, now watched in awe and fear as Earth began to reclaim its power. The Celestial Council, a coalition of the universe's most powerful beings, convened in response to Earth's sudden surge of power. Led by the enigmatic and ancient entity known as the Arbiter, the Council deliberated on the unprecedented situation. The Arbiter, a being of immense wisdom and authority, had seen countless civilizations rise and fall. However, the emergence of Earth's latent power was unlike anything the Council had encountered. The balance is disrupted, the Arbiter intoned, his voice resonating through the cosmic chamber. Earth has awakened, and with it, the ancient force of Gaia. We must act swiftly to restore equilibrium. The Council, composed of beings from various realms and dimensions, debated the appropriate course of action. Some advocated for immediate intervention, fearing the repercussions of an unchecked Earth. Others suggested observation, believing that Earth's awakening might be a natural progression. After much deliberation, a decision was reached. Emissaries would be sent to Earth to assess the situation and, if necessary, contain Gaia's resurgence. The emissaries, beings of immense power and grace, descended upon Earth, their arrival marked by celestial phenomena, shooting stars, auroras, and the sudden alignment of planets. They landed in the heart of Earth's most sacred forests, where the veil between the physical and spiritual realms was thinnest. Among them was Seraphiel, a being of light and wisdom, chosen for his deep understanding of cosmic balance. He approached Gaia, who had manifested as a colossal figure of swirling elements: earth, water, air, and fire. Her presence was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. "Gaia," Seraphiel called out, his voice carrying the weight of the cosmos. "We come not as conquerors but as guardians. The balance you disrupt affects all realms." Gaia's eyes, ancient and filled with sorrow, met his. "For eons, I have been bound, forced to watch as my children suffer under the yoke of celestial rule," she replied, her voice a harmonious blend of all earthly sounds. Seraphiel extended his hand, a gesture of peace. "We understand your pain, but the balance must be maintained. Without it, chaos will reign." Gaia hesitated, her form flickering between serenity and tempest. "Then let the chaos come," she declared, her voice echoing like thunder. Chinese mythology plus 6 Greek mythology plus 6 Chinese mythology plus 6. The first clash between Gaia and the emissaries was cataclysmic. Mountains crumbled, oceans surged, and the sky itself seemed to burn with the intensity of their battle. Seraphiel, wielding the light of equilibrium, clashed with Gaia's elemental fury. Each strike sent shockwaves through the planet, causing natural disasters and cosmic disturbances. As the battle raged, the stars above flickered, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. The Celestial Council observed from their distant realm, their faces etched with concern. The Arbiter, sensing the escalating conflict, knew that intervention was imminent. Unbeknownst to the celestial beings, humanity had begun to awaken as well. The disturbances caused by Gaia's resurgence had triggered a latent evolutionary response in humans. Individuals began to develop heightened senses, enhanced physical abilities, and a deep, intrinsic connection to the planet. Greek mythology plus 1 NewYorker.com plus 1. Among them was Alara, a young woman from a secluded village nestled in the Himalayas. Touched by the awakening force, she experienced vivid visions of Earth's consciousness and the cosmic struggle unfolding. Guided by these visions, Ilara set out on a journey to unite the awakened humans and confront the celestial emissaries. As Gaia's power grew, so did the resistance. Ilara, leading a coalition of awakened humans, began to challenge the emissaries' influence. Skirmishes erupted across the globe, from the dense jungles of the Amazon to the frozen tundras of the Arctic. The once passive humans now stood as formidable adversaries, wielding the power of the Earth itself. The Celestial Council, realizing the gravity of the situation, convened once more. The Arbiter, his expression grim, addressed the assembly. "The balance is no longer in our favor," he stated. "Earth has awakened, and with it, the forces of chaos. We must prepare for the inevitable confrontation." The stage was set. Earth, once a silent observer, had risen to challenge the cosmic order. Gaia, with her elemental might, stood as the planet's champion. Ilara and her coalition of awakened humans prepared for the coming conflict, aware that the fate of their world, and perhaps the universe, hung in the balance. As the celestial emissaries regrouped, the stars above dimmed, as if anticipating the impending storm. The universe, in its vastness, held its breath, waiting for the clash that would determine the future of all existence. As the celestial storm raged, the very fabric of the earth trembled beneath the weight of the confrontation. Gaia, the ancient spirit of the planet, stood resolute in her colossal form, her body an embodiment of nature itself. Her eyes, filled with sorrow and power, gazed across the battlefield. The emissaries, the celestial beings sent to restore balance, hovered above her, their forms radiant with energy. The first clash had already set the world ablaze, and the echoes of their cosmic battle reverberated through every corner of the earth. Seraphiel, the leader of the emissaries, floated above the battlefield, his form shimmering with celestial light. His eyes, once filled with compassion, now held a determination born from centuries of watching the universe's delicate balance. He had witnessed civilizations rise and fall, but nothing had ever prepared him for the fury of Gaia awakening. Her rage was justified, but the balance she threatened to disrupt could lead to chaos beyond repair. "Gaia," Seraphiel called out, his voice filled with both respect and authority, "we do not seek war. We seek balance. The cosmos thrives on equilibrium, and this awakening disrupts that order." Gaia's voice was like the sound of thunder, resonating deep within the earth itself. "For eons, I have watched as the celestial powers have toyed with the lives of my children," she said, her voice filled with ancient pain. "You have stolen from them, manipulated their fate. It is time for the earth to rise and reclaim its rightful place in the cosmos." Her words sent a shockwave across the battlefield, and the skies darkened as if the stars themselves were retreating from her fury. The power of the earth surged within her, and with a sudden violent motion, she raised her arms. The elements, drawn to her like a loyal army, responded. The oceans churned, the winds howled, and the very ground cracked open. Mountains rose, towering into the sky, as the planet's fury manifested in a display of unmatched power. Seraphiel summoned the light of equilibrium, a force that radiated peace but was strong enough to contain chaos. He extended his hand, directing the light toward Gaia, attempting to calm the storm that she had summoned. But Gaia's will was unstoppable. She resisted the light, her fury growing with each passing moment. The battle between light and elemental power escalated, and soon, the world itself was caught in the crossfire. The celestial emissaries, initially hesitant, now joined Seraphiel in the fight, each of them wielding their unique abilities. Zorith, the warrior of the stars, called upon the cosmic energies to form barriers of stardust, but Gaia shattered them effortlessly. Astrea, the healer, attempted to calm the storm with her soothing aura, but Gaia's rage overpowered the tranquil waves she created. The battle was not just physical but also a battle of wills, a war between the ancient forces of nature and the celestial guardians of balance. Meanwhile, the awakened humans, led by Ilara, witnessed the destruction unfold from the safety of their hidden sanctuary. Ilara felt the pulse of Gaia within her, the deep connection between the earth and her awakening force. She could feel the planet's pain, its desperate need for freedom from the cosmic yoke. But she also understood the consequences of allowing this unchecked power to rage. If Gaia succeeded in dismantling the balance of the cosmos, the universe would collapse in a cataclysmic event that would affect all realms. "We cannot let this continue," Ilara said, her voice steady despite the uncertainty that gripped her heart. She had trained with the elders, honing her powers, but now the fate of the earth, and perhaps the entire universe, lay on her shoulders. "We must stop her, but we must do so without destroying the earth we are trying to save." Her words resonated with the awakened humans around her, and together, they formed a plan. They had learned to channel the earth's energies through their bodies, allowing them to manipulate the very elements Gaia wielded. With this newfound power, they approached the battlefield. Elara stood at the front, her eyes locked on the raging form of Gaia. "We are not your enemies," she called out. "We are your children. We understand your pain. But destroying the universe won't heal the wounds of the past." Gaia paused, her immense form halting for a moment as Elara's words reached her. The fury in her eyes softened, just for an instant, before the storm reignited. But this time, something changed. The elementals that once followed her command now hesitated, unsure of their next move. Gaia's will was unshakable, but the presence of the awakened humans had begun to shift something deep within her. Seraphiel, noticing the shift in Gaia's energy, took the opportunity to speak again. "Gaia, we understand your anguish, but the world you seek to create is one of destruction. We are your guardians, not your jailers. We will help you restore the balance, but it cannot be done through chaos." For the first time, Gaia faltered. The weight of her centuries of suffering began to settle, and the storms began to quiet, though the threat still loomed. Elara approached cautiously, her hand outstretched. "We can heal the wounds of the earth together, but it will take all of us, humans, celestial beings, and the planet itself. We must unite, not fight." Gaia's massive form shifted, her elemental powers swirling around her in hesitant patterns. The tension was thick, and for a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. The celestial beings, the emissaries, and the humans all waited in silence, each aware that this moment could either save or doom the world. Finally, with a great sigh that echoed through the earth, Gaia's form began to shrink, her elemental fury subsiding. The storms calmed, the mountains receded, and the ocean's waves, once ferocious, became gentle lapping at the shore. Gaia's eyes softened, filled with the weight of 1,000 years of pain and loss. "I wanted to free my children," she whispered, her voice carrying the ancient grief of the earth. "But in my rage, I nearly destroyed them." Elara stepped forward, placing her hand on Gaia's massive arm. "We will free them together," she said, her voice filled with compassion. "We will heal this world, one step at a time." Seraphiel, seeing the resolution in Gaia's eyes, nodded. The emissaries, their faces filled with understanding, began to dissipate, their mission now complete. The cosmic balance had been restored, but it had come at a great cost. Gaia, now peaceful, gazed upon the humans who had awakened to her call. "This is not the end," she said softly. "This is the beginning of a new era, one where Earth and its children will walk hand in hand." The stars, once silent observers, now burned brighter in the sky. The universe, in all its complexity, had witnessed a great shift. The Earth had been saved, but the journey of healing was just beginning. And as the celestial beings retreated into the cosmos, they knew that they had been part of something far greater than they could ever have imagined. And as for Elara and the awakened humans, they knew that their fight was not over. The Earth had spoken, and it was time for them to listen, to learn, and to protect their home, forevermore.